What's up, everybody? Reed Wallach from Fansided here, joined today by LaDarius Henderson, offensive lineman from the University of Michigan, national champion, University of
Yep.
Michigan. LaDarius, busy time on the draft cycle. Appreciate you taking the time to join with us.
Oh, no problem at all. I mean, yeah, it's a busy time, but I mean, love doing stuff like this, and I mean, it's awesome to be in this position.
And so I want to go back to the beginning of your football career because you didn't
Hmm.
start playing football until high school. I was doing some digging around. So tell us
Yep.
a little bit about the process of picking up football at one of the later ages and kind of how it blossomed into what's going to be a professional career in the next few weeks.
Man, I mean, it's crazy because I actually didn't start so late because in seventh grade and eighth grade and ninth grade, I was like, oh well, it's obviously too late to start now. And then in 11th grade, when I started, one of the coaches at the high school, were like, hey, man, come play football and make some friends, yada yada. And I did, and ended up being the captain of the team, getting recruited after that year. And it didn't come easy. I gained 80 pounds to do that, but it's just I would say the thing that it kind of created was the mindset of like, working hard because I always felt like I was so behind, and I still feel like I work out and I do things with that mindset of I'm catching up, which
Mhm.
helps me get here.
And then you go to Arizona State, you crush it there, you get recruited to the University of Michigan, Moorhead winning offensive line, you make the jump. You guys obviously win the national championship.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the process going from Arizona State and how you landed at Michigan. And then obviously we could get into a little bit about the run up in this past season.
So process Arizona State. I mean, I loved Arizona. Living there is amazing. Spent 4 years there. Like, got a lot of love for them. Got to be the captain there. Like, um, my decision for leaving, it just came down to I felt like playing these midnight games in the West Coast. I'm like, nobody's watching these games, man. Like, I'm already an offensive lineman. People don't watch us that much to begin with. So I'm like, I want to go somewhere that plays on a big stage, and I want to play with the best offensive line. So I really knew it was either declare for the draft or go to Michigan because they just won the Joe Moore Award twice. So I'm like, hey, I'm either going to Michigan or I'm declaring for the draft, and I'm not entertaining anything else.
And then you play obviously for Jim Harbaugh, now the coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Eccentric guy, a lot of good quotes. Any good Jim Harbaugh memories you could share with the masses here?
Oh, okay. We got some funny stories. I know there's some. Um, I got to think of a good one for you because there's a lot. There is okay. The first time I see him, so he works out all the time. He tries to do pretty much the same workouts that we do. They're toned down a little bit, obviously, because he's a little older, but he does them all. When I get to Michigan, I see him working out, but I'm like, oh, he's wearing his khakis and his hat and his polo and his belt and his shirt's tucked in, and and I'm like, okay, maybe he just like has to get it in real quick. And then I see it every day. He works out in his game day uniform because that's his uniform.
Hey, game ready at all. Isn't that the thing? Practice, you got to practice like it's a game. Jim Harbaugh
Yeah,
takes it the same way.
absolutely.
And then you protect JJ McCarthy, Blake Corum in the backfield as well. A lot. You guys obviously there's a ton of draft prospects on this team. What was it like playing with a team, not just national championship, forget about the team success, but like this group of players? What was it like playing with so much talent and so many guys that are gonna be playing on Sundays at the next level with you, against you? But what was it like this past season with a team like that?
Man, it's just made football so crisp and clear. And it's just like if we all do our job that we're capable of doing, it's gonna go seamlessly. So like we kind of created a standard of perfection because we actually could achieve it. So it's like it was crazy. It was definitely mind blowing. Like no matter how normal it is, it's always mind blowing. Just the fact that a team can have this many guys that are pros at heart.
Mhm. And now let's turn it forward to the draft, a few weeks away, coming up. Have there been any changes in your pre-draft process that maybe have been a little bit different than like, preparing for, a regular season game, Big Ten play, like now focusing on the NFL? Have you kind of tweaked the workouts a little bit?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to because the what you're asked to do is it's much different than preparing for real football. So once the season's over, you get into your best shape for running 40s and bench pressing 225 and doing the three cone, doing all this stuff that you only need to do well one time and
Mhm.
as fast as you can. And it's like it's not necessarily like a 40-yard dash is going to help me block. So it's like you got to find ways to still get your football training and impress in these tests.
Mhm.
And then once you've done those tests, you're never going to do them again for the rest of your life. It's back to all football, you know? So you got to find a balance of doing both.
Yeah, it's like taking the SAT or something. You just got to pass it, and then you get on to the next part of your life. Uh, is
Absolutely.
is there something you feel that you didn't show at Michigan? And I know offensive lineman, it may not be eye popping or something like that, but is there something you think you showcased or you have the capability of that maybe Michigan didn't need from you in the past, or even back to Arizona State? Is there something you think that maybe the tape doesn't know about LaDarius Henderson?
I think there's a few things, but I would say the tape at Michigan doesn't necessarily show my pulling, physicality. Just so at Arizona State, I played left tackle my true freshman year. I was kind of trash back then, but hey, I was good enough to start, not great enough to dominate. But then started as I got older, I started playing guard. And when I pulled, I mean, I have countless highlights of just kind of knocking people out, like literally knocked one guy out. So it was just like at tackle, you don't really pull as much. At least not we didn't at Michigan. So I feel like the Michigan fans didn't get to see that side of
Yeah,
me
more of
this
like the
year.
athleticism kind of pull,
Oh
get
yeah.
outside the box a little bit. Uh,
Hmm.
and then Michigan, you guys played smash mouth football, old school, some would say, run first. Do you think that's either prepared you for the NFL? Maybe that's kind of holding you back in terms of evaluation?
No, I mean, because like I said, so I had 3 or 4 different offensive coordinators in my 4 years at Arizona
Mm.
State. Then I come to Michigan and I have Coach Moore, and you know what type of style we play with there. So it doesn't hold me back because I've played in so many different schemes that teams are like, okay, he can learn fast and he's capable of doing it because we've seen him do it over the years. So.
And then Michigan play offensive line, of course, and you moved around. You were mentioning that you go from guard, tackle. Do you think NFL is there one position you think that you're going to end up playing, or are you telling coaches in these meetings and these pre-draft visits like, hey, I could play inside, I could play outside, I could move, I could pull?
Yeah, I mean, they whatever they want me to do is what I'm gonna do. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna put myself in a box if I don't have to. I mean, if a coach corners me and makes me pick and put me in that box, I mean, I'll tell him privately. But for now, I'm just saying I'll play it all because I will.
And then one more thing before I let you go. You're gonna go to a team's gonna look you up, they're gonna want to know more about you, they want to know what you're about, maybe see some highlight tape. This is gonna come up. So for the insert fan base here, what do you want them to know about you, the football player, what you bring to the table as a teammate, as a player? This is your open forum for how you want to sell yourself.
Honestly, I feel like when people talk to me, they kind of know what type of guy I am as a person, but as a player and as a teammate, I'm a guy who just brings the best out of myself and the people around me, and just a guy you want to have in your room, quite honestly. And I mean, I've had success where I've gone, and I love this game to the point to where when I'm done playing it. I'm most likely going to be coaching it. So I'm a guy who I love this game and I love people. And I feel like when you put those two together, you can get great players.
We buried the lead. I should ask more about your the possibility of coaching or something like that, a coach on the field or something like that. But no,
Yeah.
Ladarius, I mean, first of all, everywhere you've gone, you won, obviously national championship win. Last question before I go. Most memorable moment from this past season, was it winning the national championship or was it beating Ohio State?
Beating Ohio State. Beating Ohio State. There's nothing like it. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm glad we won the national championship and I'm gonna be forever grateful. But beating Ohio State, that feeling, I no other game has felt that way in my life.
I love to hear it. Well, Ladarius, appreciate you taking the time during this busy draft cycle. Thank you for answering the questions. Best of luck in the future. I'm sure we're going to be seeing you plenty on Sundays.
Thank you so much.